run a train. I was able to get this engine work. I want the end scale loop. Wheel picks. Edward sending your wheel picks. And so is the troublesome truck. And so is James with his inaccurate grey wheels. Oh, hello, 2 people. Trains, let's see, let's get this truck on the track. Oh, I better stop the powered locomotive. Oh, a light, thank you. Nine people, whoa. People! What the truck? We better get standard gauge engines in action. Oh, I have the controller on. I'm stupid. Because I'm stupid. I'm doing a live stream. Probably saying I was shouting about having 15 people on my stream. There's just my sister here.
Am I live on YouTube?
Yeah, you're live on YouTube. Say hi to my sister. Okay. I still need to fix these points. I might do that today. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Ten people, let's see. Come on, we can do 20. We can do 20. Seven people. I know. I'm gonna read a Thomas book. Wait, should I read this book? Oh, hi. Oh, hello, Sophie and Ethan. Okay, let's see. Percy. Yes. Okay. Let's see. There's this. I'm gonna stand my phone up here. Beautiful artwork, nostalgic artwork. This is a story about Percy, the little green tank engine. He was very cheeky and loved playing tricks on the other engines, but one day that little thing needed to be brave. Percy loved playing tricks on the other engines, but these tricks sometimes got him into trouble. One morning he was being very cheeky indeed. Beep beep, hurry up, he whistled to Gordon. Your express train's ready. Gordon thought he was late and came puffing out, but when he looked around, there was only a train of dirty coal trucks. Ha ha, laughed Percy, but Gordon didn't think it was funny at all. Next it was James's turn. Percy told James to stay in the shed because the Fat Controller was coming to see him. James was a very proud engine and thought that the Fat Controller must want him to pull a special train. He stayed in the shed all day, and nothing his driver could do would make him move. The other engines were very annoyed. They had to do James's work as well as their own. At last, the Fat Controller arrived. He was very cross with James, but he was even more angry with Percy when James explained what had happened. When Percy arrived back at the yard, the Fat Controller was waiting for him. You shouldn't waste time playing silly tricks, Percy, shouted the Fat Controller. You should be a useful engine. Later that week, Thomas brought the Sunday school children to the beach. He asked Percy if he could take them home for him. Percy thought that it sounded like very hard work, but he promised Thomas he would help. The children had a lovely day, but by the afternoon there were dark clouds overhead. Suddenly there was thunder and lightning, and the rain came lashing down. The children hurried to the station. Wow, I told Bill and Ben about this, but I didn't think it would actually and Percy takes the plunge, but I didn't think it would actually happen, said Percy. Annie and Kerber were waiting for them at the platform. The children scrambled into the warm carriages. Percy, take the children home quickly, please, ordered the station master. The rain poured down on Percy's boiler. Ugh! He shivered. He thought about pretending that he had broken down, so another engine would have to go instead of him, but then he remembered his promise. He must make sure the children got home safely. Percy set off bravely, but his driver was worried. The rain was very heavy now, and the river was rising fast. The rain was getting in Percy's eyes, and he couldn't see where he was going. Suddenly he found himself in deep water. Oh, my wheels! Shivered Percy, but he struggled on. Oh, he hissed. The rain was beginning to put his fire out. Percy's driver decided to stop the train at a cutting. The guard went to find a telephone. He returned looking very worried. We couldn't go back if we wanted to, he said. The bridge near the junction is down. They would have to carry on to the next station, but Percy's fire had nearly gone out, and they needed more wood to keep it going. We'll have to pull up the floorboards and burn them, said the fireman. Soon they had plenty of wood. Percy's fire burned well, and he felt warm and comfortable again. Suddenly there came a buzz, buzz, buzz. Harold was flying overhead. Oh, damn it, thought Percy sadly. Harold has come to laugh at me. Bump. Something thudded on Percy's boiler. A parachute had landed on top of him. Harold hadn't come to laugh. He was dropping hot drinks for everyone. Everyone had a hot cocoa and felt much better. Percy had got some steam up now. Beep, beep. Thank you, Harold, he whistled. Come on, let's go. As Percy started to move, the water began to creep up and up and up. It began to put his fire out again. Oosh, shivered Percy. Percy was losing steam, but he bravely carried on. I promised Thomas, he panted. I must keep my promise. The fireman piled his fire high with wood. I must do it, Percy gasped. I must. Percy made a last great effort and cleared the flood. 3 cheers for Percy, called the vicar, and the children cheered as loudly as they could. Harold arrived with the Fat Controller. Harold told me that you were splendid, Percy, said the Fat Controller. He says he can beat you at some things, but not at being a submarine. I don't know what you've both been doing, but I do know that you're a really useful engine. Oh, thank you, sir, whispered Percy happily. The news of Percy's adventure soon got back to the station. Gordon and James heard all about how Percy had kept his promise and travelled through the terrible storm to bring the children home safely. They both thought he was very brave and forgave him for all his tricks. Percy realised that although playing tricks could be fun, it was much more important to be a really useful engine. The end. And I did make some modifications. Watch, that engine is fast. Very fast. Oh, you see, someone said cool, thanks. I'm also thinking maybe this blue engine, because I don't really use faceless engines very much. I prefer Thomas engines. Making this the little blue engine from the Railway Series story Troublesome Trucks. Well, let's just count how many Double Scale Thomas characters I have. I have Thomas, Edward, James, Troublesome Truck, Spiteful Brake Van. Then there's I Was Flying Bedstead, Bear, Annie, Clarabelle. So that's 9, not counting Flynn and not counting ones that can't run on a layout like Neil. So that's just engines and rolling stocks. That's 9. And I'm currently in the middle of fixing Bear. If you hadn't seen my last stream, but I've got to get parts but these parts are quite expensive in New Zealand, but I found them somewhere cheap, but it's in another city. You'll see I've also made these little playground equipment. What's your favourite one? Oh, it's my favourite 00 scale Thomas, but it's this Bartman Edward. I absolutely love him. He is such a good runner. It's Edward. How can you not love him? Well, I'm not one of those absolute Edward fanboys like Unlucky Target and everyone, but I mean, I really like his Bartman model, and it's probably the most detailed out of the Bartman Steam Team models. Oh, probably him and Emily, I'd say. I've made playground equipment. There's a little seesaw I've made out of toothpicks and bits of old model railway sleepers. And I have these chairs. But this guy, there's something, since I've stuck blue tack on it, I think it looks a bit inappropriate, but I'm not going to talk about it. I made these seats out of popsicle sticks, and then this was also made out of popsicle sticks, this little table. I've also made a slide out of, I got some heaps of hopper wagons once and a lot, but I never used them. So I took they provided the bogies for all my HO converted minis, but I took one of the ladders off and gave it to the slide. This is a straw, and then there's a little sleeper on there. And then I also have this little duck. It isn't actually an N-scale duck. It was given to me by a lot of N-scale stuff by my uncle, who also gave me this N-scale train set, which I use for 009. But I'm using this duck with double O because there's this type of duck called I love ducks. A type of duck called a cool duck, and they're very small. So I'm just saying this is a cool duck. I actually want to get more 00 scale ducks. I want to get one that I can paint into my favourite type of duck, which is called a Muscovy. And on the subject of 00 scale Thomas characters, I forgot I have this coach. And it kind of resembles this coach in the magazine story called The New Coach. So I guess this is my 10th 00 Thomas character. Maybe you can make a swing out of sticks and string. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Making I hadn't thought about that. Sticks and string. I'd probably use like thread and you can use sleepers. I'm actually going to try that. Thanks, Ethan Hayenga 7717. Sorry if I mess up any pronunciations. Oh, and not really playground equipment, but I have this little post box. Post box. I just have it out of my really crappy bit. This is these really crappy buildings I made when I was younger. There's this. And these three, and they're just not very detailed, and the paint's crap. I'm embarrassed of them. This one is kind of this old building I got given by my club, and I kind of restored it, but I put tape on the back, but then it looks crap. Oh, dang it, a derailment. Let's fix that. There we go. 0 people on the stream. I won't talk until I've got one more person on the stream. One person on the stream. Oh, good, 2 people. So, but then I am quite proud of what I did here. I put the black tape there, and then just added another ladder from my old hopper wagons. I also have this tractor toy I found at a charity shop that's kind of 00 scale. Also, if you're wondering about these, there's a tiny Toby. These are come inspired by Fire Porter's Goober models. There's this tiny Thomas, which is going to be repainted, and this tiny Gordon. They're kind of like scrap, but they have their own lore to them, but I don't want to bore you with it. I'll probably cover it in a video at some point, if I ever do videos about my models. I definitely want to do a video about Bear. Maybe I'll do like a video about him and the Spiteful Baked Bean. They're both pretty, like, not very much customization, just the faces. And I can talk about how I fixed Bear once I fix him. Or maybe I'll talk about these guys. I want to start doing lore ramblings like Fire Porter and NWR Lover, so I'll probably talk about them in one of those. although I've said this before, but if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. Something I'm wondering in Thomas is if a flat bed was to have a face, where would it go? Like, would it go on the top there? That would be very cursed. Would it be just a very thin, extremely thin face on here? Or I'm imagining, well, they just had 2 eyes on there, maybe like a mouth here. Or no, I wouldn't have eyes on the buffers. That's some cursed knockoff Thomas toys do that, and it's extremely cursed. Like, hello, like, say these are the eyes. My eyes! Eyes don't go on buffers. Knockoff Thomas toy, though. So I have to say it would probably go there. I have this really weird. I was given this by someone at my club. It's like got these bits of foam in it. I don't really understand what it's meant to be. Its couplings also, one of the couplings also a bit bent, so. But I still think it's cool. Oh, one person. Where will the well, thanks to the one person that is watching, but where will the other ones gone? Or 2 people. Good. Maybe next stream, I'd like to do a stream on the wooden railway layout. And I'd like to do a stream on my PC watching like Thomas videos and like episodes and do that in future. I'd also like to maybe stream building a wooden railway. Maybe next time I build a new wooden railway layout, I'd probably like to stream doing that. But I'm gonna head off now, so bye to the one person that is still watching.